K.P. Singh, Community Leader. One of the oldest.
Where's your camera?
I know, that's right.
How are you, Honorable Mayor? Doing well. See you here.
Yeah. Mr. Raju Chinthala.
There's a letter from the President. You have it?
He's a cloud specialist architect. Ropal Thanawala, CEO, Digital Technology. The last and the least, Mr. Ajay Shareen, who is the CEO of Access Cadus. Come. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, this is a little special. Open. Let's have a group picture immediately so that we can save time. Please, you be in the center, both of you in the center. I'll join, then please, the tall people go up, little, taller people. Hold your certificate. Please, hold and open your certificates and face it here. Right behind this side, only certificates, not the letter, That's good. Oh, yeah, this, Joe. You can't. Come. Yeah, please. Just say it, because bring that thing down. Just move it there. Thank you. Wonderful. Yes.
Congratulations to all awardees. Yeah. It's my pleasure now to welcome Indiana's Attorney General, and to my knowledge, the first statewide elected official to visit India when he was Secretary of State, Todd Rokita.
Well, good evening, everybody, and let me add my thanks to the award winners so far, the presidential award winners, and soon to be our Ratna honorees tonight. And I don't know if the word's been given, but if not, I'll just go ahead and say it. Please start eating. I know some folks are still on their salads, and Raju, I don't know if I've broken protocol there, but I know some folks are probably pretty hungry. I want to thank Raju and the entire India Council Committee, because I know it's a lot more than Raju that puts work into this, for everything that you've done to make this this fourth annual one, but all of them so wonderful and so special. You each make the state of Indiana a better place, and I thank you for it. Throughout my professional career, whether in office or not, I've truly been honored to help promote the wonderful relationship that we have as a state with the nation of India. And our MC is correct. I was the first statewide elected official in the state of Indiana to travel to India back when I was Secretary of State. And I don't say that to get any bit of credit whatsoever, but to simply mark the observance and how far we've come since those days, Raju. I think it was in 2004 or 2005 when we first went over. And this is how it came about. I was your sitting Secretary of State, and Mayor Joe, who I appreciate being here, who was a Indiana Secretary of State as well, and Diego Morales, who may be our next Secretary of State, will appreciate this as well. But when you're the Indiana Secretary of State, aside from the businesses that you register, the important investigations that you do, the title means that you're also the guy, the last line of defense for preventing us from ever going to war against Kentucky. But some read more into the title than there is, and this was before the days, or as the IEDC was just being stood up under legislation, and it became sometimes the duty of the Secretary of State to do more diplomatic missions, even international missions. And so we did. And it was Raju Chinthala who came up to me one day and said, "Todd, why don't we go to India?" He was always the flag waver for his home country. And I said, "Yes, absolutely, Raju, we will go to India, but have you seen my salary?" This is something I couldn't afford to do. It was something we wouldn't dare at the time use state funds to do, even though that culture has rightfully changed now, especially again with the leadership of the IEDC, and as is being recognized with the job that Jim Shellinger has done and others before and after him. So it was you. It was a lot of you in the room right here tonight that funded that first trip over 15 or so years ago. And I thank you again for it. We went all over the country, New Delhi, Mumbai, Andhra Pradesh. Of course, you don't go to India under Raju's leadership without stopping in Andhra Pradesh. We know that. And now I'm proud to say, although not 4 times in 2 years like Jim Shellinger, I have also been back to India 4 times, maintaining, nurturing, furthering that relationship. And the mayor's right. We are in challenging times right now. But it's relationships like this, particularly this relationship between our state and India, that's really going to show the way through. Both our state and India believe in free enterprise. We believe in the liberty, freedom, the responsibilities that go with that. We love our families. We love our home countries. We want to see each do better. And that's really what brings us here tonight. There are times when I've been to India, many times, when the country being so populous, a lot of folks didn't know what or where Indiana was. And there was always one simple cure for that. If they didn't know, I didn't even have to bring out a map. All I would say was Purdue University. And everyone knew. Just one small example of the ties that bind us, of how special and unique our relationship, our friendship is, and where it can go. So with that, I'll leave you to your dinner. Hopefully I gave you some time to start it. And really thank you, each of you, for having me here tonight, I always try to be here, and not just for the food, although I love Indian food. And it's what brings Kathy and I to Diwali nearly every year. But it's great to see so many friends, new and old, here tonight as we usher in, nurture, maintain, preserve, further our special relationship. Thank you all. Thank you for your leadership, and God bless you.
Thank you, Attorney General Wakita. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indiana Ratna, established in 2018, is the highest award bestowed by the Board of Directors of IABC to honor individuals who have contributed significantly towards strengthening cultural, educational, political, social, and economic ties and have helped make a profound impact on both Indiana and India. We heard about the previous honorees before, so I give us back 30 seconds. Goes skipping. Tonight, the India Business Council will bestow 2 outstanding individuals with the prestigious award: Jim Shellinger, former Indiana Secretary of Commerce and current Ambassador of Global Relations at Butler University, and to Sudhakar Gande, founder and chairman of US Indiana SME Council and chairman of FICCI Committee on Aerospace and Defense, for the first presentation of the Indiana Ratna Award. Please welcome back Raju Chinthala and the awardee, Mr. Sudhakar Gande.
I also request Dr. Aarti Shah, Chairwoman of Indiana India Business Council, to join me.
I'm very happy, delighted, and excited to be here today. And this is a great occasion personally for me, traveling all the way from India. When Raju called me and said, Sudhakar, you block this particular day, you are likely to give an award. I said, fine. So I'm extremely happy, and I'm also happy to invite my sister, who used to work in NASA earlier, Dr. Sarala. Can you stand up for a minute, please? So I requested her to join for today. Then she said, no, it's difficult, the cost and all. I said, don't worry about it. You should be here. I'm happy she's here. For me personally, the association with Indiana is something very special, and it's completely on a different scale. Though I born in Hyderabad and spent a lot of time in Bangalore, we have something called state-to-state relationships, sister-state relationships between Indiana and Karnataka. So I got involved in that, and we were very fortunate when the Governor Eric Holcomb and Secretary Jim Shellinger came to India. That's my first interaction, of course, thanks to Raju initiating the whole thing. But then I realized that something special about Indiana, apart from adding two letters to India to Indiana, then I realized it's a great place. And as someone, my predecessor, mentioned about Purdue University, we have 4 doctorates in my family in Purdue University, because 2 of my nieces who came to Purdue to study in Purdue for a doctorate and master's, they also found their husbands in the same university. So it's personally great honor for me, and personally I'm very happy about it. And at some point of time, I encourage Purdue to open a campus in India. I'll be very happy to get involved in that. Coming back to Jim, he's a close friend. I'm very happy to see him. He really done an aggressive job of pushing India, Indiana together. And I was very fortunate to host the Governor Holcomb and Jim in Delhi in one of our FICCI functions, which is one of the best gatherings we had. The topmost industrialists and president of FICCI, the minister from one of the Karnataka state, our sister state, the deputy chief minister, he was there, and that started working on it. And personally for me also, our own company, Access Cadres, we have initiated to have set up our headquarters for North America here in Indiana. And I'm happy to say we have already started working with two important companies, the Toyota North America and Cummins, initiated business relationship. And our own company, Access Cadres, has a very strong association with the US. We have more than 300 people working in US, including in Peoria, more than 150 people. We are one of the, possibly the largest foreign company operating in Peoria. We provide very high-end engineering design services, the embedded electronics, stuff like that. So one of the things I was telling my CEO, Ajay, was why don't we just look at the possibility of setting up a center of excellence in high technologies in Indianapolis. So I request the mayor to help us structuring the whole thing along with Jim, our old friend, to advise us on this. And also I'm very happy Indiana Business Council has done a great job. Though it is the second event I'm attending in the last 4 or 5 years, I see how they've graduated to a next level. And councils like this, India Business Council, they really bridge a gap between two countries, two states, and among the companies, including cultures. So I congratulate Raju for doing such a great job, and also personally inviting me and giving me the award. And also I wish him all the success in future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations again. And I know when we recognized Rahul was not here, but Rahul is here. Rahul Srivastava is a EVP and Provost of IU who studied here. He's my dear friend. Actually, he's like my younger brother. We were college mates in Mysore. He was my junior. Give him a round of applause. He's here. Thank you. And we will reconvene the program at 8 o'clock. Enjoy the wine and salad and the main course and also the dessert. Enjoy the food. Bon appetit. Thank you.
सारेगामा कारवां इस तोहफे में है 5000 सुनहरे दाने और कुछ यादें।
get started. So to kick things off, Samir.
सिवा मेरा यहाँ मंजिलें है मेरी तो सब यहाँ मिटा दे सभी आजा फासले मैं चाहूँ मुझे मुझसे बांट ले जरा सा मुझ में तू झांक ले मैं हूँ क्या
Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys having a good time out there? Are you guys having an excellent time out there? We're going to resume our program shortly, and we just hope that you guys have enjoyed the dinner and the conversations at your table. Let's give the Indiana Roof Ballroom staff a round of applause. Excellent staff.
गुजारे थे जो लम्हे प्यार के हमेशा तुझे अपना मान के तो फिर तूने बदली क्यों अदा ये क्यों किया कभी जो बादल बरसे मैं देखूं तुझे आंखें भर के तू लगे मुझे पहली बारिश की दुआ तेरे पहलू में रह लूं मैं खुद को पागल कह लूं तू गम दे या खुशियां सह लूं साथिया सोचता है तू ही जाने तू क्या सोचता है बावरे क्यों दिखाए सपने तू सोते जागते जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को मूंद मूंद कैसे मैं चलूं देख ना सकूं अनजाने रास्ते जैसा है कोई एक तारा धूम जैसा है कोई एक तारा धूम जैसा है कोई एक तारा धूम जैसा है कोई एक तारा धीमे बोले कोई एक तारा धीमे बोले कोई एक तारा धूम जैसा है कोई एक तारा धूम जैसा है कोई
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you have enjoyed the dinner and conversations at your table. We're now going to resume our program.
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your meal. Our second performance is an Annamacharya Kriti. Kriti Narayanate Namo Namo is in praise of Lord Vishnu, who is revered by Narada, Brahma, and other gods. Vishnu transformed himself into half man and half beast in the form of Narasimha and killed the Asura Hiranyakashipu. Salutations to the Lord who subdued the pride of Mahabali. He's the Lord of Gopis. Performed by Akshara Amudan, Ananya Yami, Divya Arayur, Riya Badekonda, Sanjana Chanchaya, and Uma Kalluparambil. Enjoy the performance.
नारायणते नमो नमो नारायणते नमो नमो नारायणते नमो नमो भवनारद सन्मुख नमो नमो नारायणते नमो नमो भवनारद सन्मुख नमो नमो नारायणते नमो नमो मुरहर भवहर मुकुंद माधव गरुड गमन पंकजनाभा मुरहर भवहर मुकुंद माधव गरुड गमन पंकजनाभा परम पुरुष भवबंध विमोचन परम पुरुष भवबंध विमोचन नरमृग शरीर नमो 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 नरमृग शरीर नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो नमो भवनारद सन्मुख नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो जलधिशयन रविचंद्र विलोचन जलरुह भवनुत चरणयुगा जलधिशयन रविचंद्र विलोचन जलरुह भवनुत चरणयुगा बलिबंधन गोपवधू वल्लभ बलिबंधन गोपवधू वल्लभ नलिनोदरते नमो 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 नलिनोदरते नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो नमो भवनारद सन्मुख नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो नमो आदिदेव सकलागम पूजित यादव कुल मोहन रूपा आदिदेव सकलागम पूजित यादव कुल मोहन रूपा वेदोद्धर श्री वेंकट नायक वेदोद्धर श्री वेंकटनायक वेदोद्धर श्री वेंकटनायक नाद प्रिय ते नमो 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 नाद प्रिय ते नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो नमो भवनारद सम्मुख नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो नमो भवनारद सम्मुख नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो नमो नारायण ते नमो
Please give them a round of applause. Beautiful performance. They're all high school kids. As you know, the school started today, so they've done a wonderful performance. Thank you very much, Nityanjali Dance Academy. Now I would like to recognize one of my strong supporter and sponsor, who is always there to write a check, Mr. Alex Goman and Harry Goman, and along with the Johar Goman. Please come on the stage, please. Please give them a round of applause for their financial support to India Business Council. Can I get Attorney General Todd Rokita on the stage? He's here. Now, I think he's maybe the first Consul General made so many visits in the last 2-3 years. So we have a Consul General, Amit Kumar, in the hall, and would like to invite him and for his remarks. He came during the pandemic and has become a good friend and made a lot of visits to IU, Purdue, of course, Indiana. He met the governor. He also attended several events in Indian community here. They also did an international yoga day. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Consul General Amit Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you, Raju, for those kind words. You have been a great friend of India. You have steered the Indiana Business Council in connecting Indiana with us and strengthening India-Indiana partnership. I'm really happy to be joining this event organized by the India Business Council. We have the 76th Independence Day of India on 15th of August. So on that occasion, I would like to extend my warm wishes to all of you, to members of the Indian community, to fellow Indians and friends of India. I was speaking to Raju about this event, and he asked me to share some insights on India-US partnership. But also gave me a rather impossible task to limit myself to 5 to 7 minutes. But I will respect his wish. I'll try and be brief here. I want to give you a sense of where the India-US relationship stands today. If you look at the trajectory of our relationship, it is very clear. It is moving forward. Our partnership is very wide-ranging today. It is dynamic. It encompasses almost every facet of human endeavor. You will often hear people saying that our relationship has significantly transformed in recent years. What does that mean? So I'll refer to a few metrics which will demonstrate the significant change that has happened in our partnership. Who could have thought only a few years ago that the United States would designate India as a major defense partner? It had helped transform our collaboration in defense and strategic sectors. Our two countries have also signed the foundational defense agreements. Today, India and the United States do more military exercises with each other than with any other partner country. In the past decade, our defense trade has risen from zero to around $21 billion cumulatively. Similarly, our energy trade, which was zero in 2016, is now close to $30 billion, again in a short span. Last year, our bilateral trade in goods and services was in excess of $170 billion, despite the global pandemic, supply chain constraints, and absence of a free trade agreement. In recent years, under both Trump and Biden administration, we have seen intensification of bilateral engagement at high political level, at senior official level, and functional areas of cooperation. We have also seen a rapid evolution of the Quad mechanism, which brings together India, US, Japan, and Australia, where we're trying to work in diverse areas such as maritime security, disaster reduction, humanitarian assistance, health, education, and managing the global pandemic. A new area of critical importance that has emerged is our cooperation on new and emerging technologies. I think there is recognition today that we need to work together and join hands with partner countries in cutting-edge technologies so that we remain ahead of the curve, because these are technologies which may very well determine the future of the geopolitical order. If I were to sort of categorize our priorities with the United States, I would say that healthcare cooperation and pandemic management, our energy partnership, including in renewable energy, in electric vehicles, in green hydrogen, and so on. Our knowledge-based partnerships comprising higher education, startups, and getting our science and technology entities together. It will also include economic and commercial engagement, including adoption of Industry 4.0 tools. And last but not the least, our strategic and defense partnership. Looking at Indiana, there are of course many points of intersection in the areas that I just outlined above. I wanted to acknowledge the considerable support that we have received from Governor Holcomb and his administration for expansion of Indian business presence in Indiana. Indian skilled professionals have contributed in areas such as technology, innovation, and healthcare. We have earlier heard from one of the honorees, Sudhakar Gande, about his company and how his company, through engineering design solutions, are helping several big companies in the US Midwest. I also wanted to refer to the 5-year agreement between Infosys and Purdue University on technology, innovation, and workforce development as a unique template which can perhaps be replicated elsewhere. In fact, when I visited Purdue University earlier this year, the vice president for research at the university mentioned that perhaps this type of a template, if it exists on the Indian side, can bring more stakeholders together to look at collaborative opportunities. On the higher education side, we have more than 4,000 Indian students studying at universities in Indiana. We have representatives from Indiana University, Provost of Academic Affairs Rahul Shrivastava also here, whom I met recently. I can tell you this much, that universities in the Midwest, including in Indiana, have all responded very positively to the national education policy which was unveiled in August 2020. I have had some constructive discussions, and we hope to take this collaboration beyond a normal exchange of students and faculty. I also wanted to mention that I have had the distinct pleasure of working with former Commerce Secretary Jim Shellinger, who is one of the honorees tonight. He has played an immensely important role in driving forward India-Indiana partnership. He is personally invested in this partnership and has very deep insights about our country, given the fact that he has visited India on so many occasions. His own background has helped him identify new potential opportunities. So I would once again like to acknowledge his contributions and thank him for what all he has done for India-Indiana partnership. Before I close, I also wanted to recognize the very important contribution of the Indian diaspora. They have helped enrich India-US partnership in myriad ways, in many ways. Their contributions are also valued locally, and I think presence of so many friends of India from political and business circles in Indiana is a testimony to their contribution. However, I would just urge the Indian diaspora to focus in a more concerted manner on one thing, which is to educate the next generation of Indian Americans better about the opportunities, enhance their understanding and opportunities in contemporary India. And I say this not because it will help them connect better with country of their forefathers, but also because as India later becomes a $5 trillion economy later this decade and will become a $10 trillion economy next decade, all those who will have better understanding of India will be, I think, better placed to seize the opportunities that will come our way. With those words, I'll stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Consul General Kumar. For the presentation of the Ratna Award, please welcome back Raju Chinthala and the recipient of the award, Jim Shellinger.
As I introduced, he was previously Secretary of Commerce. I made several trips to India during 2017, 18, 19, in 3 years, 4 trips. I'm sure he's going to share his experience with us. But most important is he loved to see Taj Mahal because he's an architect by profession. And by profession, an architect, if you see JW Marriott, Airport, Palladium, all these projects are done by he and his firm. He works on several organizations. Currently, he's an ambassador for global strategies at Butler University. He's trying to help them to grow their, bring more students from the world. But more important is, I'm the first created a position, he created a position for me at IEDC to represent Indiana in India. Before that, we didn't have any representation in India, even though we had several other initiatives going on. But somebody who to look into India and represent market Indiana in India, as well as help India companies to come here, but also Indiana companies to go to India. So that was a very big initiative that he has done between Indiana and India. He also met the Prime Minister Modi, along with the Governor Hokam. He visited in 2019. So there are several. He has a 6-page resume. If I go on talk, I think we'll be staying here till midnight. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, Jim Shellinger.
Thank you very much. What a great evening and what a great opportunity to be here for what's one of the, obviously, the highest honors of my life. Martin, thank you for all you've done. I was actually very pleased to hear you weren't going to dance. I've seen Martin dance. It's usually later in the evening on an international trip. We'll stop there because what's on the road, we usually leave on the road. But thank you, Martin, for all you do. Thank you, Raju. It's such a great honor. Consul General, thank you for being here. I know that's a long trip for you, so I really appreciate that. And congratulations to all the presidential honors and my good pal, Mr. Gande. What a great opportunity to see him again, having been over to see him at his corporate headquarters in India. A great man. He was the head of FICCI at the time, which is sort of the equivalent of IEDC. And he was the head of that when we honored the governor, they honored the governor, on the 150th anniversary of Gandhi. So it was a very special night for the governor. And he's never, my governor, and he's never, ever forgotten about that and has a picture of that in his home. So it's a very nice thing for him. I'd also like to thank my wife, Laura, who's here tonight. Laura, thank you. I went on 61 international trips to 27 countries in 48 months. after I stepped down from secretary, and at a point, about a month or two into it, I wasn't so sure she was real happy having me home to share the TV button and the other things that happen when I'm home. But thank you, Laura, because there's no way I could have done what I did, and especially with India, without Laura's support. I loved every second of it. There's no higher calling than to serve and to help the livelihoods of people. I once said it's a thirst that you develop that can never, ever be quenched, no matter what you do. It's just something that you live with every single day. It was great to see Mayor Hogsett here, Attorney General Rokita. Thank you for your remarks. I explained to Attorney General, I don't think I've ever seen anybody work harder in public service. He has spent a lot of time in public service, and we're all grateful for that, Attorney General. So thank you very much, and thank you for all your hard work. One of the things about, I look back to in my trips to India, my first trip was a result of a visit that was paid by Ravi Kumar and, of course, Tan Murthy, who's here tonight with us, and Praveen Bhatt. And Raju, it was all because of Raju. Emphasis had come to America and was going to look at setting up 4 regional centers, mostly on the East and West Coast. But because they knew Raju, they stopped in Indianapolis and they came to visit me. That was on February 20th of 2017, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And it was interesting I told them all about Indiana. I love Indiana. I've never lived anywhere else but Indiana my entire life. And I told them about that, and they said, that's very impressive. Would you be willing to come to India and present to our board of directors down the road? And I said, I'd love to do that. So on March 6th of 2017, I got a phone call from Ravi, and he said, that was on a Monday, and he said, can you be here next Monday on the 13th? I said, absolutely. So I was there. I got to visit Mysore. I got to visit Bangalore. And since then, I've been to Hyderabad, Agra, visiting the Taj Mahal, of course, Pune, New Delhi, Mysore. I've been to 7 cities throughout India. And I went over, and the rest is the results of emphasis being here today. So that was on the 13th of March. They made the announcement on May 2nd of 2017 that they were going to set up a headquarters here. And I told the governor, after being in Mysore and Hyderabad, I said, we have got to have one of these campuses. You have to set those goals, and I told Ravi that, and we have a campus that's developing today out to the west off of the Sam Jones Expressway. And it was great. Ravi was in town yesterday. It was great to see him, but unfortunately he had to be in Chicago today. He's an extremely busy man. But I got to go to all these different cities, and then on the 26th of April of 2018, Vice President Pence came to visit, along with the governor, and announced that we were going to do the campus, which was a huge day for Indiana. And I don't think we, to this day, because of slowing down with the pandemic, that we know just what that's going to result in. But all these different events we'd go to, Laura would join me, and they'd make a big deal out of this. They'd say, we called the Secretary of Commerce, State of Indiana. We asked him to come over on a Monday, to come over the next Monday, and he came on 1 week's notice. And this kept getting repeated and repeated at different events. And Laura finally, one point, she looks over at me and she says, for God's sakes, you'd think you swam over there. And of course I didn't, and been back many times. And I look forward to my next trip over to India. It's an amazing thing. If you'd have told me when Raju told us first of all, it's amazing we're even close to being on time today, because Raju's not really a good keeper of the time clock. When we were going to head out to Agra to see the Taj Mahal, it was like 11 o'clock at night. And we said, we got to see the Taj Mahal. I never got to do anything really that was tourist oriented, because it was just always one meeting after another. And it was just a speed drill. And I said to Raju, how long is it going to take? He said, that's a short drive. Not a problem. So at 4 a.m. when we arrived, after 5 hours of being on the road, we did make it to the Taj Mahal, which was, as an architect, the best thing I could ever see, because I spent 32 years hearing about the Taj Mahal. Every client just about would say, I want a nice building, but I can't afford the Taj Mahal. You know, don't design a Taj Mahal for me. I can't afford that. And this is, you hear about it, it is a standard of excellence in architecture, is the Taj Mahal. So to go see that in person brought tears to my eyes. And being able to be in Karnataka and to form the joint venture agreement with the state of Indiana for economic cooperation, those were big moments for us. And then we were there for the World Economic Summit with Mr. Gande, and that was part of the inspiration for the Indiana Global Economic Summit that we just had the inaugural summit for, which leads me to a very special day of my life, October 1st of 2019. I was asked one time, if I could meet 3 people, who would those 3 people be? With, of course, they didn't include Laura in this. I said, well, Jesus. I hope to do that someday, but I'm not in a big hurry. I said, Aristotle, who was tutored by Socrates and Plato. And I said, and Prime Minister Modi of India. Well, of course, 2 of those people is possible to meet with. But I did get to meet with Prime Minister Modi, and I will tell you that it was one of the most special moments of my life. Many leaders of countries that I've met with, prime ministers, presidents, all on behalf of Indiana, he was the most unique person I'd ever met. And he came into the meeting, and it was just, thank you, yes. And maybe one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. And the governor and I went to meet with him, and it was just the governor and I and the chief of staff, his chief of staff, and him. Now, when you normally have these meetings, sometimes there's many people, as Jillian Turner, if she's still here, knows that. And there can be, you know, as many as 6, 7 people on each side. And normally when that happens, the leader from the other country speaks in their native language with an interpreter. But we had a very small group, and so Prime Minister Modi spoke in English. And the first thing he said to us was he expressed his gratitude to both of us for Indiana Anna. And we said, no, we're grateful for you in India. And his chief of staff looked at us and said, let me clarify, Indiana Anna means come to India. So the Anna part on the end is come to India. So it's India Anna. And we said, well, great, well, Indiana Anna. So he said he had just been to Texas, and he'd given a speech, as you'll recall, and he said, I got to speak to 55,000 people. And we said, well, you come to Indianapolis in Indiana for the race, and we'll put you in front of 300,000 people. And all you got to do is be able to say, gentlemen, start your engines. Gentlemen and ladies, start your engines. And we're hopeful someday he'll get a chance to visit us. But he told us in that meeting, he told us 3 things. He said his goals for the country, and he is so dedicated. He said, I want to increase our GDP. We heard this from the Consul General, Kumar, tonight, about the GDP. He said, the second thing I want to look at is health care for my 1.3 billion people, which I don't think we can even relate to. But he said, 1.3 billion people, and I'm very concerned about our health in the future. So it's good to hear about the dedication to medicine and the things on the part of India. And the third thing he said is he wants to accomplish the first 2 through sports. And I think my colleague, Governor Holcomb, might have spoken about that last year when he was honored with this award. But he said, I want to do it through sports. And what we were amazed at was his knowledge of Indiana, of the universities, of the sports. Didn't have a note, never referenced a note. And he started talking about the Pan Am Games in 1986. And he went through one after another. He talked about the Pacers. He talked about the universities. He talked about the Indianapolis 500. He talked about that we had the Super Bowl here in 2012. He talked about the College National Championship, which we just had last year. And he went on, and he said, this is what I want to do in India. And he said, I have the money to do it, but I need the help. And he said, I need coaches. I could use 100 coaches in whatever sport tomorrow. I want to be in soccer, of course cricket, but I want to be in volleyball and tennis and basketball and football and hockey. And he just went on. And to this day, I've thought about that and thought about my commitment to do that. I'd love to continue to work with him in the future on that because there's such an opportunity. And we saw that, as we talked about earlier, when the Indiana Pacers played in Mumbai. It was an amazing event, and I was there for the first night. They played 2 nights, and the children from India came to it, and they lined the stadium in different colors representing their schools, and didn't sit down. one time during the entire game. It was such a fascinating event for him. So I think that's something we need to think about for the future of the relationship. Also, it was interesting to point out, as Attorney General Rakita said a little earlier and referenced by Mayor Hogsett, we're in some interesting times, and our democracy has been challenged. It's defended quite nicely by people like the Attorney General Rakita. But India is the biggest democracy in the world. 1.3 billion people, and to think that their democracy and ours are one and the same. Indiana, I mean, there's such a bond, there's such a natural fit between our state and that country. And I saw it the first time I went to India, I saw it every time I went back. And so it was an outstanding experience for me. I'd lastly like to acknowledge, as a secretary, you always travel around the world, and you always have to, at some point, end the conversation with recapping what you came to talk about, which was the deal. And I'll tell you, one of the toughest deals I ever sat in was with Mr. Gande, because he's a great negotiator, and he's a great engineer, and his company, Axis Caddies, is this amazing company. But my colleagues, so mentioning today, doing the similar thing, an analogy of that, I'd like to reference to there's a Butler University table here, over here in the distance, and we're joined tonight by Dean Caldwell, not new to the university, of course, but new to the role of dean. And Jill McKinney's with us tonight, and Brent Rockwood is with us, and Michael is with us, Lofton, and Liz Jackson, and there's some others, some spouses and things, but thank you all for being here today. Butler University is something I'm very proud of. It is, without question. We've got great universities all around the state. I grew up in South Bend, and I went to Notre Dame, and I'm proud of that. But I brag about our universities all around the world, what great universities we have. And Butler University, in my personal and humble opinion, is the preeminent university in our state's capital of Indianapolis, right here in Indianapolis. Thank you. He's a force to be reckoned with. I can remember going to the U.S. Ambassador's house in India, and we were at the guard gate where there was a United States Marine working, and Raju walks in and he says, "Let's go, we got 15 minutes, we have a meeting, you need to move." And I'm like, "Raju, you know," we'd go to airports, always running late, Attorney General, as we talked about. What would Raju do? He'd take straight up to the head of the line. He said, "Raju, you can't do that. I mean, you can't just walk in front of everybody." "Yes, we can." So Raju, I teased, Laura said, "This is a long evening and everybody's going to want to wait to go home." And I said, "Well, let me tell you, if Raju sees somebody leave, he'll get up and tell them. He'll call them out. Say, 'Get back here, sit down.'" Because that's Raju. And that's why he formed this amazing organization that continues to do great things. And we have just scratched the surface of what we can do in Indiana and India. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Jim, on the well-deserved Ratna Award. But you never see me dancing. And I thought we had something going on. You know, what happens on an international trip stays an international trip, but can't trust you, no. Okay, at this time I would like to ask all IBC board members and elected officials to come to the stage, as well our two honorees, Jim Shellinger and Sudhakar Gande, for a group photo. For the audience, please remain seated for the remainder of the program. Yes, we have more programs, so.
All the board members, Mayor for Columbus, Mayor Lenahup. Please, he dressed, I think he should get the best award for a dress up here. Mayor, please come. Senator J.D. Ford, Attorney General Todd Rokita. Please come. All the board members, whoever is here, please come on them. Bharat Bhai, Vishal, Heidi, Darshan Soni,
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring your attention for a special video presentation by Crystal House International.
Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing well. It's such an honor to be able to share my story with all of you today. My name is Angel. I joined Crystal House in 2004 and since then my life has changed drastically. Before I joined Crystal House, my parents struggled to provide for us, let alone send us to good schools. I have an older brother who joined Crystal House before me. He would come back home every day from school and tell me about how much fun he was having at school. It was during this time that I had to drop out of school as my parents could not pay the school fees anymore. And for someone who loved to go to school, this was heartbreaking. Fortunately, I got admitted into Crystal House in the 4th grade. I remember walking into the 4th grade classroom as a shy, timid girl who was not sure of what the future had in store for her. But that fear and insecurity faded away gradually with every single day that I spent at Crystal House. Crystal House, along with providing education, also provides us with food, transport, healthcare, scholarship facilities for higher studies, and to children who otherwise don't get such facilities, it feels like heaven on earth. And that's exactly how it felt like every time I walked into the school. Every day of the 9 years that I spent at school was great. I was learning, making friends, having lots of fun, and most importantly, becoming a better person. At school, we are given with opportunity
Team na 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 dil la na dil la na na dil.